Sony Imagesoft was a developer and publisher of video games from 89 to 95. They were a subsidiary of Sony, and after that, they solely made games for the Sony PlayStation. The immortal John Hancock here with another ranking video. And what I do in these videos is I take a particular company and I look at all the games that they published and give them a rank and letter grade. If you want to rank these yourself, the link will be below, as well as a link to the other videos that I've done in this series. I'm having a lot of fun. Sony published 11 games for the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, and in today's video we're going to take a look at those. Bram Stoker's Dracula is up, and this is a very different game than the Sega CD counterpart. Sony did support the Sega CD a lot. They had a lot of games. The cartridge versions typically were a little different or a lot different, and this is actually a better version on the cartridge format. And you know, it is an okay platformer. I kind of call it a discount Castlevania. And so you're moving around Dracula's castle. You're each level you're seeking out to find Van Helsing, to get a weapon. You then find the exit, and then you fight a boss, which is one-dimensional. Okay, it's an okay game. Graphics are okay. Gameplay is okay. It's just average. It's a very average platformer. I like it more than I don't. It does have kind of a drab color palette. I think controls are the best. The weapon is so-so. It's just not Castlevania Bloodlines. There's better platformers on the Sega Genesis. And at the end of the day, I'm going to give this a C. Average. Next up, Cliffhanger. Pretty much a standard platformer. And it goes through the movie. Oh my gosh. So this is a disappointment to me. I don't think it has enough variation with enemies. It's just a really kind of below average action-oriented game. Now, there's an avalanche level in this game. It makes it very difficult. This is faster than the Super Nintendo version. Does that mean it's a good game? No, it's not. I actually, saw the movie back in the day, and this is an okay game, but I think it's tough. I think it's repetitive, especially with fighting the same enemies over and over and over again. This is not a great action game, and this is a D. Next up is Hook. Now, I like Hook. I think Hook works. Hook has one major problem, and I'll get to that in a minute. There's 10 levels and 7 bosses in Hook. I think it's a well-done platformer. It's got really good graphics. It's got really good animation. The control, it's a little floaty and a little too slow for me, but I still think it's a good game. I really like what they did with this game. I think it's got a lot of variation with enemies, and I think it works. I like this game. Of the platformers, this is one of Sony's better that they published, and I think this is worth going back and playing. I think the cartridge version works for me, and it's a B. Oh man. Alright, Last Action Hero. This is a terrible, terrible game. A really broken, bad beat 'em up. You're swarmed by thugs and targeted. This is not a fun game. Has delayed controls. You're going to die quite a bit. Good luck getting even past that first level. And so it just doesn't work for me whatsoever. This is one of Sony's worst, and I'm going to give this a solid F. Ugh. 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 Up next for terrible games is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Oh my goodness. This is a broken game. I wanted to like this game. I actually I'm kind of a fan of the movie. I didn't think the movie was terrible. The game is terrible. Oh my goodness. This is a terrible game. And let me explain why. Okay, so you're moving Frankenstein around levels, which are confusing. You often do not know where to go. It doesn't hold your hand whatsoever. There's confusing mazes. Next up, you're armed with a, get this, a stick. You have one guy. You have one life, and then firing a missile attack takes away from your health bar. That's stupid. This is a stupid game. It's terrible. I don't like this game. Enemies respawn. Avoid this at all costs. One of the worst action platformers Sony made. I would say it's probably worse than The Last Action Hero. They're both an F. This is an F. F, F, F. Ugh. Oh my goodness, yuck. Those last two games were terrible. And then Sony had this, Mickey Mania. This is an amazing action platformer. Absolutely love this game. This is one of the best Mickey games out there. It's weird. So they eventually released this on Sony PlayStation overseas. There was a Sega CD version with some missing content and better sound. This is wonderful. If you're a Mickey fan, this is one of the best Mickey games of the classic era. I absolutely love this game. Level starts out, first level is a Steamboat Willie. I love that. And everything about it, the animation, the sound, the graphics. It feels like Mickey. It plays like Mickey. Looks like I'm going to have to give this an A. Next, Sony dabbled with some sports titles. And, well, it's kind of a mixed bag. We're going to start out with ESPN Baseball Tonight. You know, even with the Berman commentary, this is just okay for me. I like this game more than I don't, okay? So let's start out with what it does right. It's got awesome animation. Some of the best animation I've seen in a Sega Genesis title. I really like that about this. Now, there's teams and players. I like that as well as it has the actual players. But there's no franchise mode, there's no season mode, there's no stadiums in this game. It's the same stadium over and over and over again. So if you want to play with somebody else, it's a great kind of pick up and play baseball game. I don't like the fielding in this game. So when you hit it out into the outfield or into the field, it doesn't switch perspective, and it's really hard to field and to judge where the ball is going to be going. And so you know, it's a C. It's a C. It's an average baseball game. There's better out there. I love baseball, and it's just a C. Next up was a surprise for me, and that's ESPN National Hockey Night. Now, a good friend of mine, Jay of Square Pegs, he did all the hockey games on the Genesis. He did a ranking video. The link will be below for that. And I agree with him. This is a above average hockey game. And what I like about this is that you can change the perspective. You can go horizontal or vertical. It's got above average graphics, above average gameplay. It's pretty fast. It's kind of more arcadey versus realistic. I like that about this type of sports game, and I'm going to give it a B. Is it as good as EA hockey games? No, but it's a good alternative if you want to see what else is out there. And if you can find it cheap, it's worth picking up. Well, I gave this one a go. I'm a huge Madden fan, and I did a ranking video on all the Madden football games. How does this one hold up? No, this doesn't hold up. It's not as good as Madden games. It tries to be a Madden game. There's a lot of features in it that remind me of a Madden game, but when it comes down to the graphics and gameplay, it falls way short. This game has ugly graphics. I could see playing this back in the day on a CRT, looking at those fuzzy characters and being like, oh my goodness, what is this? And so it's got a lot of features. You can adjust the quarter length. You can adjust, you know, lots of different team options, has all the 28 NFL teams. It really tries to be a competent football game. I know Absolute Entertainment was involved with it, making this, but you know what? It falls way short of what else is on the Sega Genesis. This is a D. Next up is ESPN Speed World. And, you know, this is another game I really tried to give a go. And the challenge with this is I played a lot of my racers on 32-bit consoles. And so, unfortunately, this does not hold up now. Now, for a 16-bit title, there's not many games like this. So you may be into that, you know, stock car racing and, you know, that track racing type of game. There's upgrades, there's cars, but I just didn't like the graphics or animation, and I thought the track kind of looked kind of boring. And so there is a 2-player option in this game. Is it terrible? No, I don't think it's terrible. It's just not my type of game. It's not a game I'm going to go back and play. I'm definitely not going to go back and play this game in particular. It's a D. Another D for me. Not a fan. We here in the States did not get Sensible Soccer on cartridge. Sensible Soccer is a wonderful European football game. Oh my goodness, I love this game. If you want to play the definitive version of this game, play the Amiga version. Now, they released 2 versions on the Sega Genesis. Are they perfect? The first one, no, but it is really good and reminds me of ice hockey with that fast and furious gameplay. Is it realistic? No. You have a multitude of options. You can make your own team, and people may look at the graphics and say, wow, those graphics are small and dinky. It doesn't matter. It's such a fun game to play. You're gonna forget all that. Some people complain about the crowd noise. I didn't care. It was fun, but it's a solid A. I definitely recommend going back and playing it. Now, they did update it for World Cup 94, adding a bunch of international teams. I think it has a little bit of refinement of gameplay. If you know more about that, please comment below. But I noticed that the gameplay was a little bit tighter. There was slight subtle updates, as well as a multitude of different teams. I enjoy the international version, and I'm gonna give it an S. You have to play this if you're a big European football fan, or soccer as we call it here in the States. And there is a Sega CD version, and it's called Championship Soccer 94. This is the international version, I do believe, with some enhancements. So if you're here in the States and you want to play that version, that is all 11 releases. The rankings are here. What did you think? Comment below, and as always, thank you for watching my videos. I had a lot of fun doing this one, and it was a mixed bag, but it was fun to go through each game. As always, thank you for the ongoing support. If you're new to my channel, hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the immortal John Hancock, and you have a good day.